What's up, losers? Border Collies is back. What's up, man? Long time no see. How was your trip, by the way, Border Collies? All right. I guess here we go. Also, America kind of sucks right now, no?
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Oh, welcome everybody. I am Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Someone shared a video with me. I can't believe that YouTube has regressed back to the point to where people are just openly being like, oh, you got to get your ivermectin for your cancer. And that's just like fucking acceptable. Like, what the? It's Liberty Warrior. We've covered Liberty Warrior before. It's just wild. Check this out. Breaking. First population-wide study finds COVID-19 vaccines increase risk of multiple cancers. She plays a video for like forever. That's why it sounds like shit. I think she's playing somebody else. I'll get you audio right here.
Strand of the DNA, and the RNA is basically half of your strand of the DNA. Anyway, and to do this, they took SV40 monkey gene, which they use in many other.
They took an SV40 monkey gene. So RNA is not half of your DNA. That's one half of your DNA. RNA is the messenger that carries instructions for your DNA to build proteins and lipids and shit like that, right?
And it enables, it's a mechanism that helps CRISPR splice in a part, and then the SV40 is the part that helps whatever they put in there replicate, okay?
I mean, just some guy that has, like, I get it. I have a strong Southern accent. I wouldn't expect you to take fucking medical advice from me. I have no diploma or no, like, work history. I wouldn't expect you to just take medical advice from me. But I don't know why anybody at the microphone's like, well, here's how your RNA works. What they did was they got a monkey gene. They started fiddling around with it.
That's the part that's causing turbo cancer, because cancer is just basically replication that can't be stopped. It just continually replicates whatever cell it's replicating, and it won't stop. And it causes, that's really what cancer is. And they use this to enable this, your spike protein, to just keep replicating, which they said it wouldn't do, but it does. And so they basically splicing other genetic code into your DNA. So now you're no longer actually human no more once you got that in you, by definition. And that's their whole premise of the COVID vaccine, was to make the spike protein replicate, and then your body immune system would attack it, and then the spike protein would go away, which it don't. That's the problem. And then your memory T cells, your killer cells, would remember that the next time you got infected, and would eliminate the virus. But they messed up. And let me tell you another story. The first thing that they ever did was the vaccine that they developed and got approved was not the one that they pushed out to the public. That's in their documents now. Yeah. So they got approved for something that they never even mass produced, and they just pushed it on us anyway.
Yeah. But so the mRNA technology, the messenger RNA, is the little messenger for the COVID gene therapy, was the S-spike protein, that your body would manufacture S-spike protein to defeat the SARS-CoV-2. That's the bottom line on that one.
Well,
that's it. I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
Let's let D jump in here real quick. D, I'm glad that you could make it tonight. I know it's been a long time coming. So, what's your
By the way, the mRNA stays in there for like days at maximum. It's actually extremely fragile, and that's one of the reasons it's so hard to get mRNA vaccines developed. They're incredibly fragile, and the mRNA breaks up into tiny little pieces, broken up by the cell within days.
on what John and Stephen both have shared so far tonight?
They are both absolutely right.
They're absolutely right. I can tell you right now, everything they said is absolutely right.
And working in the healthcare system, I work in hospitals. Basically, any drug you...
That doesn't tell us anything. I work in hospitals. So you're now an expert on vaccines and infectious diseases?
Name it. I compounded it, mixed, what have you. What I have seen in the past 4 years, I'm trying to gather my thoughts because I've just seen so much within my own family and within the health system across the board.
By the way, it's silly to think that this changes your DNA like they're trying to say, okay? DNA is in the nucleus of your cells. mRNA, right, messenger RNA, actually is in a space outside the nucleus called the cytoplasm. So it can't get in the nucleus and change your DNA.
Lymphomas and sarcomas are through the roof on children because they do chemotherapy for all ages. I have seen a drastic spike in pediatric cancers, and it doesn't start at 1 and 2. It goes straight to stage 3 and 4. And
oh yeah, I've personally witnessed and cataloged a spike in child cancers, and it starts at stage 3 and 4. First of all, that's a lie. Second of all, that's an anecdote, right? No one has picked up on this, but you're the person who picked up working in hospitals like I do.
treatments are aggressive. Any cancer treatment is aggressive, but for children, because their bodies are still developing, their immune systems are their strongest at a certain point. When you administer chemotherapy,
what? Their immune systems are strongest at a certain point. What?
In pediatric cancers. And it doesn't start at 1 and 2. It goes straight to stage 3 and 4. And the treatments are aggressive. Any cancer treatment is aggressive, but for children, because their bodies are still developing, their immune systems are their strongest at a certain point. When you administer chemotherapy, it damn near wipes it out. Kids that get chemo have a runny nose. There's always a test before to check your white blood cell count. If it's too low, you're not going to get the treatment. If it's just enough, if it's high enough, then you get it. But it's the terrible cancers. I'm just now.
So yes, chemotherapy, which is radiation therapy, does reduce your immune system. It weakens it because it damages bone marrow. And bone marrow is where the white blood cells are made. That's always been a thing.
Now hearing the word terrible cancers amongst my coworkers at the infusion center. And now we're starting to speak openly about it. We're like, so-and-so is back. They just finished their 6-week treatment 2 weeks ago. I'm seeing there's treatments that are not working. Or their reaction to the first 2 doses are so severe, oncologists are like, nope, stop. We have to stop. We have to come up with a different regimen.
Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. They're just hypersensitive to anything coming in. They're like, oh my God, this person came back, but they wouldn't have even been talking about it pre-COVID.
And chemotherapy is not cheap. It's very expensive, but manufacturing it is only $70, but it passes through all these channels and it's passed through all these hands. One vial can reach upwards of $70,000 for treatment. So they have
bullshit.
If there's a reaction, and then
bullshit. It only costs $70, and then they charge $70,000. Bullshit.
Start them on a new regimen, Okay, after a while, the regimen, it looks like it's working. But then they see that they do a test and they see the cells have metastasized to another part of the body rather quickly as well.
D, I don't want to interrupt, but I want to go ahead. So
I think it takes like a basic drug to bring to market takes somewhere around $700 million. And that's nothing like out there. You're not trying anything new. You're just trying to bring a basic drug, no groundbreaking technology. It takes around $700 million. Well, they make it for $70 and then they charge $70,000.
the listeners to the show, I want to break down, and Stephen H. can fill in some of my gaps maybe. So what we learned early on was that the gene therapy, as it spliced into the human DNA, and the creation of the S-spike protein, you essentially...
By the way, it's not gene therapy, and it's not spliced into your DNA. They're actually in two different parts of the cell. Again, we already went over that.
Diminished and destroyed your innate God-given immune system that oncologists are familiar with. All of the drugs in oncology made the assumption that you have a true human God-given immune system. But as you have been vaccinated, boosted, and boosted, you no longer have that innate immune system. You have a man-made now, created immunity that...
Do you not? What you're talking about is every vaccine in the world. You introduce some of it, your body gets used to it and knows how to fight it off. So then when you get hit with it, it's ready.
Replicates S-spike protein that will work on COVID, but it does not and will not do anything to cancer except allow cancer to flourish. So that's why we have the advent and the increase of all these turbo cancers. And Mike, one of the things that I sent you is the first population wide study finds COVID-19 vaccines increase risk of multiple cancers. Mm-hmm. And these overall cancers are breast cancer, bladder cancer, and colorectal cancer. Now
Here's how it works, okay? mRNA goes into the cytoplasm, all right? The cell reads that mRNA, and its instructions to make a spike protein that all these versions of COVID have. They have the spike protein. Now, it makes this spike protein, and your body says, hey, that doesn't look like one of our normal proteins. Kind of strange. Let's check it out. Your body checks it out, decides it's not a normal protein, and attacks it, right? It attacks it, and it figures out how to attack it, how to kill it, how to get rid of it. So then, now that spike protein is destroyed. But now, as long as it's been a short enough amount of time, the next time that spike protein enters your body, which will probably be from catching COVID, it says, hey, we remember that, and we remember how to deal with it. Let's destroy it. That's all it is. Holy fuck.
300,000 people tracked for 30 months. And it shows that the mRNA shots significantly increase the risk of those cancers. But now, when you have a colon rectal cancer, you have a breast cancer, you have a bladder cancer, and you have no longer your human immune system, guess what? It will metastasize. It will go into other parts of the body, lungs, kidneys. So this is unleashed.
The body is an amazing thing, okay? Not only does mRNA tell the cell what type of proteins to produce, it literally tells it how long to produce it for or how many to produce, right? If the mRNA remained in your cell forever, which like they're claiming, then it would produce spike proteins forever. But we don't have that happening, do we? No. They literally have mechanisms built into them to limit how many times that blueprint for a spike protein can be used before the mRNA is just destroyed. The more complicated answer is the A. I forget what the A stands for in mRNA. I think it's andine. It doesn't matter. So you have RNA, right? That A, let's call it adenine. I don't know what it's actually called. That A, every time that you make a spike protein, that A goes onto the bottom of the mRNA chain, okay? That A, the adenine, goes to the bottom of the mRNA chain and sits there. It almost builds a tail of A, 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 A. Okay? And when they all line up like that tail, every time that blueprint is read and it produces spike protein, the tail grows by 1A, let's say, to simplify it. Okay? It pulls that off. It pulls one of those molecules off. And it during the production, it puts an A on the tail. It pulls that off and pairs it with the spike protein. Okay? Eventually, you run out of the A's. The andine, I can't remember. Eventually, you run out of the A's. When there's no more A's to make it, the entire mRNA structure is destroyed. It doesn't have a purpose left. That's it.
As humans, treated like lab rats. And that's
We're literally talking like within a few days, there is no mRNA left. The spike proteins have been destroyed. Your body just has certain cells that remember this. They're called immunologic memory cells, maybe. You can fact check me. Your body has cells that remember that and say, hey, we had this spike protein invasion. We know how to deal with it.
Technology behind this. That's the crime. And it's not, here's the thing. There's some hope, and we'll talk about that later on. But Stephen, did it come anywhere close to having folks understand that once you kill off your natural immune system, that this is possible for you?
Let me simplify this a little bit.
Okay.
So picture you have a car, and you put a brick on the accelerator, and you have no way to stop it. It's just a runaway car, all right? Well, that's what cancer is. When you take your foot off the accelerator, your body has natural T cells in it that seeks out cancers that you're already exposed to.
Oh, my God.
Body, be it genetics or environment, whatever. But the COVID vaccine, yes, it does address somewhat the COVID, but it simultaneously demolishes your natural immune system. So now, if whatever you have, whether it be cancer or whatever kind of illness, it's just like a runaway car. There's no brakes to stop it. It just replicates itself into oblivion, and then it makes all these different diseases. It amplifies them, and that's why people are getting so sick. And they say, "Well, there's no connection between this or that." Sure, it is, because you just wrecked their immune system. Mm-hmm. Sure, you might address the COVID a little bit, but what's the point of that if you're going to die from a common cold or something else? So everybody has, like elephants have 5 or 6 different types of T cells that attacks all the different types of cancers. That's why elephants never have cancer, but human beings only have one type of T cell that attacks cancer, and so if you get rid of that T cell with the COVID vaccine, your immunity is gone. Mm-hmm. So, it's a pretty simple concept of what they did and what the consequences are, and they knew it. That's the problem. The documentation shows that they did the testing. They knew it.
They knew it. Dee,
you
want to step in here?
He's correct.
I just can't. I know there's retards like this everywhere. You realize we were facing an extinction event, right? And you're worried that potentially, allegedly, your risk of cancer went up by a few percentage points. Yeah, eating McDonald's fries does the same thing. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? I can't believe that we're back to this. This used to be the way YouTube was. And then it was so amazing for such a short amount of time. And now here we are.
Correct. For example, I have a family member. I have a number of family. I have a family member who got the vaccine, and it was like a cascading effect. There was one particular month, a few weeks after she got the shot, that she was in and out of the ED. Come to find out, they did a scan on her, did a test, found out, diagnosed with pericarditis, the kind of pericarditis that an elderly person would have. She's only 34. So now there was fluid around her heart. She had to be on a monitor. A few weeks later, they decided to put her on medication for that. A few weeks later, there was a random tumor they found in her nasal passage. They had to do a surgery for that. Then her husband is that right before her blood would go through the roof, and he would have to take her to the emergency room. Well, come to find out, there were tumors. She had, I don't know how many, and the doctor was like, you need a hysterectomy immediately. So after that, now she's dealing with another tumor that is in her throat. They put her on Neurontin. Now, Neurontin is some demonic stuff. It's very aggressive for seizures. And they put her on it because they said, well, you may end up having seizures, so this is going to mitigate that. Meanwhile, another family member of mine, 3 years ago.
I don't know. It's just insane. It's just insane that this is even allowed. And we have the fucking retard who made Dilbert running around. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Found this tweet today. Congressman Troy E. Nels. Americans are paying less this Thanksgiving. Dinner rolls down. Frozen vegetables down. Turkeys down. Stuffing down. Gravy mix down. Fresh cranberries down. Pumpkin pies down. While the Democrats continue keeping the government shut down, President Trump is making Thanksgiving affordable again. Well, that's good, huh? Except maybe you didn't actually read the article you posted. Because while it does say that certain foods around Thanksgiving are down, in a win for consumers and a testament to behind-the-scenes coordination between producers and retailers, behind-the-scenes coordination between producers and retailers, not inflation drop or the economy's better or store. It's behind-the-scenes coordination between producers and retailers. The American consumer will have reason to celebrate this Thanksgiving, even though the cost of food at home, measured by the Consumer Price Index, is up 2.7% from a year ago. His own link says the cost of food at home, measured by the CPI, is up 2.7% from a year ago. The cost of the Wells Fargo Thanksgiving menu has fallen by about 2 to 3%, depending on shopping strategy. Your own link says, even though groceries are more expensive than they were a fucking year ago, because behind the scenes coordination between producers and retailers, this very specific meal that we're going to pick out is maybe 2 or 3% cheaper, depending on your shopping strategy. Same thing with the Walmart Thanksgiving meal that Trump's talking about. Look at this. Look how fucking deceitful this shit is. Walmart's 2025 Thanksgiving meal is cheaper because you receive significantly less and of lesser quality. They took 7 items off the menu and then said, oh, it's cheaper. This is a 2025 list. And what's right here, it says Butterball Turkey 13.5 is at 97 cents per pound. That's the lowest price since 2019. Oh, really? What did you say last year? 88 cents a pound. How can 97 cents a pound be the cheapest price since 2019, but just last year it was 88 cents a pound because they use Butterball branded turkey. Only Butterball branded turkey is down this year. And this one just says whole frozen turkey. Dude, the Walmart sucking on Trump's fucking boot is disgusting. Not to mention, they eliminated 7 items from the shopping list to say that it's cheaper this year. So Butterball turkey is at 97 cents a pound. Non-brand name turkey was at 88 cents a pound. But it's not even that they just use Butterball turkey and non-brand. They put this lowest price since 2019 in. That's a fucking lie. Or it's deceitful at least, right? We're using Butterball branded turkey. This is the list. You lost 7 items off of it. It's so crazy. Like they're literally doing this to suck Trump's dick. They're paying less for Thanksgiving from Walmart because this year the meal contains 15 items. Last year it had 22 items. Weird. But Trump says 2025 Thanksgiving dinner under Trump is 25% lower than 2024 Thanksgiving dinner under Biden, according to Walmart. My costs are lower than the Democrats on everything, especially oil and gas. So the Democrats' affordability issue is dead. Stop lying. It seems like Walmart's lying. Doesn't it, though? You had to literally brand the turkey just to get this little shot in about the cheapest price since 2019. 13.5 pound butterball turkey. Lowest price since 2019. Last year, whole frozen turkey between 10 and 16 pounds, 88 cents a pound. I think someone said the turkey they grabbed last year is still even cheaper. Like they could have made it even cheaper if they'd have kept turkey to turkey. Like none of it makes sense. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Other than trying to make Trump look good, I guess, or giving Trump something to tweet out. Does anybody know what's going on in this world? I don't. Let's see if Mr. Global knows what's going on.
Even though it probably should. So this is a story that's not going to get a lot of attention, even though it probably should. Do you guys remember last week when Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping and Modi and Kim Jong-un, when they all met in China? Yeah, well, Russia and China signed a deal. A deal to build the largest natural gas pipeline in the world from the Yamal Peninsula in Russia, delivering gas to China. The power of Siberia. And this right here is how much natural gas we're selling to China under the Trump administration. Even though the United States has worked for years to try to secure Asian markets. Yeah, that's gone. And now Russia has it. But more important is what this means geopolitically. Now Russia has someone to sell enormous amounts of natural gas to for the next 30 years.
What? You mean they bypassed Trump and did a deal without him?
Natural gas pipeline in the world. Putin.
The largest natural gas pipeline in the world? How crazy. While we're trying to sell all our natural gas and driving our power bills up like crazy.
So this is
Biden limited how much could be exported to try to save us some money.
A story that's not going to get a lot of attention, even though it probably should. Do you guys remember last week when Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping and Modi and Kim Jong-un, when they all met in China? Yeah, well, Russia and China signed a deal. A deal to build the largest natural gas pipeline in the world from the Yamal Peninsula.
What does this do? This takes away a lot of the teeth that Trump he won't, but that he could use to put sanctions on Russia. Next time they do something fucking wild. They're building the largest natural gas pipeline in the world to export their natural gas.
In Russia, delivering gas to China. The power of Siberia. And this right here is how much...
That's not a true story, Atsuko. I'm pretty sure you're the one who shared the link from Snopes, right? Snopes calls it false or whatever. Yeah, the link you shared in our chat was from Snopes, and Snopes calls it false.
Natural gas we're selling to China under the Trump administration. Even though...
Uh-oh.
The United States has worked for years to try to...
Look at all this LNG we were selling to them. Now look in 2025. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Even though Trump trying to fuck our power bills. Oh, you're good. Even though Trump's trying to fuck our power bills, he's pissed off China so much, they won't even do it.
secure Asian markets. Yeah, that's gone. And now Russia has it. But more important is what this means geopolitically.
So we got good news, chat. Dr. J said the game is fucking hilarious, and she wants to take an RV trip with me. We're driving an RV from Dr. J's house in California, or wherever she lives, to China to pick up Atsuko.
Now Russia has someone to sell enormous amounts of natural gas to for the next 30 years. And that makes it nearly impossible for the United States to isolate Russia economically when they do things like attack Ukraine. The term 4D chess gets thrown around a lot. This was a 4D chess move. It's also a perfect example of what a massive...
Russia's making 4D chess moves. China's making 4D chess moves. Trump is just using the phrase incorrectly.
failure as Donald Trump is at foreign policy. And that's because he doesn't understand the interconnection between trade, diplomacy, and foreign policy. Yeah.
Oh, that other link you shared, I've showed that before. That film about them calling out Catholics and Irish and shit or whatever from the 40s.
Trade isn't just about dollars and cents. It's about maintaining relationships.
Yes. So my plan is Dr. J and I are going to hop in RV there yet. She's going to teach me everything. I haven't even opened the game. I haven't even bought it yet. I don't know anything about it. She's going to teach me how to play. And then I am not a very easy person to travel with. But eventually we're going to make it to Atsuko. And if we can get Atsuko's schedule right, once we pick her up, we're going to continue on to take her back home to Thailand or wherever she's really from. She's in China now, but I don't know. We might have to do some genetic testing.
Even with countries you don't like. So they can't be influenced by your enemies against you.
Yeah, we're going to stream it all.
Thanks. So this is a story that's not going to get a lot of attention, even though it probably...
They're fucking over Trump again. It's a very old-fashioned word. I think I'm bringing it back. Groceries. Woke is back. Woke is back, losers. Oh, this was just interesting. This guy, I've seen him on my newsfeed a bunch. This guy takes people's accents and finds out basically where they're from, which is crazy, right? Like, I know, obviously, like, people are like, you're from the South. He breaks it into, like, the state and maybe even some area within the state.
Where does it sound like I'm from? When I talk, where does it sound like I'm from?
That's a great question. One of the earliest things I noticed in your accent was something called L vocalization. It's a trait in some English accents where the letter L at the end of a syllable or word becomes more of a W or a vowel sound. You can hear it in how you said the word talk, like tall.
When I talk, where does it sound?
So the fact that you display L vocalization narrowed my search down to either Pittsburgh, Philly, the South, New York City, or the Bay. The second thing I noticed was that you flattened the diphthong in the word time, pronouncing it as Tom.
I'll ask like one more time. I'll be like, bro.
Doing this specifically to the vowel sound in the word time is very common in Southern English. Listen to how Virginia native Pharrell pronounces the word live as live on When the Last Time by Clips.
Only if you know you live from the club to the parking lot.
So at this point, I was pretty sure you're from the South. I need to know where. And so I rewatched the video and noticed that you said talk with this vowel sound.
Oh, you guys know who Zay is? I see him pop up all the time.
Instead of this vowel sound. Now, the only reason you pronounce it like this is if you don't display something called the cot-caught merger, when the vowels in the words cot and caught are pronounced the same. Otherwise, you would pronounce it like this, saying something more like talk instead of talk.
I do this. Cot. Pin. Yeah, I do that.
And Baltimore are the only southern cities that have the cot-caught merger, so I figured you weren't from either of those two cities. At this point,
only the most dangerous roads. Like, we need a winch and everything. We got to repair the RV on the way. It's pretty crazy.
Kind of at a loss. I knew you were from the South. I knew you weren't from DC or Baltimore, but I didn't know exactly where. So I rewatched the video a couple more times until I noticed this. Listen to how you say the R in the word followers in this next clip.
I got a lot of new followers, so I'm
An accent that pronounces the R sound at the end of a word or syllable like you did there in the word followers is called a rhotic accent. Now, traditionally, Southern American English is non-rhotic, but there are some syllables where among younger speakers we're starting to see rhoticity emerge. One of those cities is Atlanta. Listen to how Lil Yachty, an Atlanta native, so clearly pronounces the R sound in the word wire. So at this point, I was like 99% sure that you were from Atlanta or the general Atlanta area, so I did some stalking on your TikTok to confirm my suspicions. And that's when I found this video, where you say you and Donald Glover grew up in the same area and attended the same high school. Where did Donald Glover go to high school? Where did he grow up? Stone Mountain, Georgia, only about a 30-minute drive from Atlanta.
He got him within 30 minutes of his house just from his accent, which is insane, right? I just spent a lot of time looking up fucking accents. What is this?
Could you imagine if they had something that
Low energy nuclear reactions? GitHub?
in the summer, in the winter, and cool them in the summer, and had zero cost? I mean, it's something that it would put everybody out of business.
Uh-oh. Anyways. We had this amazing interview come out.
Welcome to the Mike Johnson interview. I'm Laura Ingram. Welcome, Speaker Johnson. Thanks for being here. Well, thanks for having me, Ann. Laura, you're not Ann Coulter? No, but I get it. We're all like. When you were a young man, you adopted another young man. Well, there was no official adoption. It was more that we acquired. You don't talk about that often. Tell us about it. Well, I don't talk about it much because, I appreciate my privacy. He appreciates his privacy.
I'll show you some RV there footage in a second. Dr. J says it's pretty fun.
Well, the long and the short of it is that my now wife, but then girlfriend, wanted to know what I would be like as a father. And we decided that me adopting a young man would bond us as a couple in a way nothing else could. So when this opportunity presented itself for me, a white, affluent Southerner, to reach far, far, far beneath me to bring someone up, you've seen movies. We wanted The Blind Side moment. Sure, Sandra Bullock movie, yeah. And I think the most important thing we learned is they're not always grateful. That's a real shame. Do you regret it? Oh, certainly not. No, certainly not. It served me well in my political career because it gives me a card that I can just, hand over to somebody that says, I am not racist. It must be very difficult to be in your position, second line to the presidency. How do you get through, the hard days? It can be challenging. What gets me through is I like to imagine a little girl born in the 70s or 80s, growing up in an evangelical household.
What?
And hearing every day that her life was somehow valued less than her male counterpart, that she would have limited options in the future, that even God placed less value on her soul. And I imagine her being able to put...
So Mike Johnson really did adopt a black son, okay? And he tried to describe it as, have you ever seen the movie The Blind Side with Sandra Bullock? That's how he described his adoption. Like, it's so weird.
Message away in a compartment, thinking to herself, I'm so lucky to have been born in America.
Not in his family portraits, not featured anywhere, nowhere. It's like he has this... it's so weird. The Blind Side is about a movie about this kind of struggling teen who gets adopted in the movie by an actress played by Sandra Bullock. And he ends up playing football, and they make him it's about Michael Orr, which is an NFL player, but they make him in the movie almost seem like he's mentally retarded. And Michael Orr come out and is like, I didn't struggle with like that, like in school. I don't know why they did that. But anyways, she adopts him. He ends up playing football and ends up going to the NFL, basically.
That even God placed less value on her soul. And I imagine her being able to put this message away in a compartment, thinking to herself, I'm so lucky to have been born in America at this time, because I know.
They basically made Michael Orr in the movie be like this mentally retarded kid that, like, you know how the Waterboy movie, like all he does is like he gets mad at people for water. they kind of try to make Michael Oher like that. Like, he was so protective of his family, like his adoptive mother, that she would like go out in the field and be like, here, listen here, you little retarded shit. This is just like protecting your family. Protect the family. Like, it was so weird the way they made him. And like, he's a fully functioning adult. It was almost like they combined Michael Oher and Radio. You guys remember Radio? It was so weird. Tim McGraw was in it for some reason. He was the husband. He's like, I don't know. You bringing around these black teens, Sandra Bullock.
Every day. That her life was somehow valued less than her male counterpart, that she would have limited options in the future, that even God placed less value on her soul. And I imagine her being able to put this message away in a compartment, thinking to herself, I'm so lucky to have been born in America at this time, because I know I can grow up and I can...
I saw that a little while ago. You're talking about Marshawn Nealand? They said he killed himself.
These messages. I can go out there, I can be as good or better than my male counterparts at whatever career I want to go into. And then I imagine getting in a time machine and going back to meet her when she's about 8 years old, maybe 10, and kicking her repeatedly in the gut, perhaps even the crotch, and ultimately curb stomping her in front of her own childhood home. And it's really that despair, that hopelessness, that sense that worst fears are coming true that really gets me through the day. Now, with the government shutdown, a lot of Republicans have been spending more time in their districts. But I noticed that you have not. Have you been back in your district much? Well, no. As the Speaker of the House, it is important for me to stay here and work. What does your wife have to say about that? You may recall when I was sworn in as Speaker, I said that my wife was unable to be in attendance because she was so tired from having spent the past couple of weeks on her knees. A lot of people took that the wrong way. But you know, that's what it took. She said she would do anything to get me the votes to be Speaker of the House because, as she put it, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So I do look forward to making it up to her by taking her down that red carpet and having a nice dance in the new Epstein Ballroom. Welcome to the Mike Johnson.
Damn. Yeah, so if you don't know, Marshawn Nealand, I guess the story is, last night he was in some type of attempted traffic stop, and he fled. He crashed and then fled on foot from the police, and then they got a phone call expressing suicidal ideations from him. The police department did. Then they had a welfare check someone called in for a welfare check at an address that it was associated with him, and then the cops show up and I guess found him dead with what they believe was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. It's really weird. So he played for the Cowboys, and he was like a second-round pick, a second-round pick in 2023, 2024. And yeah, his rookie season, he did pretty good. I don't know. I don't know what was going on with him. He had a good game this weekend. Somebody said that he scored a touchdown against who did they play? The Cardinals. He blocked a punt in the end zone and ended up scoring a touchdown. But you never know what's going on with somebody, man. Or CTE or who the fuck knows, right? It just goes to show, like, you might have everything and still have, like he had fame and money and bitches and drugs or whatever the fuck you want, but you still might have some shit going on. It's wild. Yeah, insane. Finally, we'll move on from that sad topic. Listen here. I know you only watch fucking baseball. We get it, because that's a sport Asian people can participate in. We understand. We get it. You're an Asian supremacist. Thanks for telling the whole world, Atsuko. Not a whole lot of Chinese quarterbacks, you say? I didn't notice. Jesus, can we continue now? Damn. Anyways, finally somebody said it out loud. This is what I've wanted to say to Atsuko for years, and I don't think I'm man enough. But here we go.
Women are atrocious today. They are.
Listen up, Atsuko. Put in your Chinese noise-canceling Bluetooth massaging headphones that clean themselves from your robot butler. Listen up.
Women are atrocious today. They are immodest. They're hoes. They're dumb, like literally intellectually unintelligent. They are shallow. They are deceitful. They are wicked. They are vile. They vote.
Preach!
For trannies.
Chat, can I get an amen? Can I get an amen, chat?
They are shallow. They are deceitful. They are wicked. They are vile. They vote for trannies. I'm not making it up. It is a 45-point difference between young men and young women today. That's where we're at. 45-point difference. Women are radical progressives.
Oh, look. It's because women often have a empathy that young men just do not have and do not develop until later on in life, if at all.
Christian nationalist fake pastor Joe Webbin. And if you're thinking that video was a response to the...
And I honestly think that's a result to the... I know this is going to sound like fucked up, talking about like fucking suffering young white males or whatever. But I honestly think it's the environment, dude. When you're a young male, even not white, but when you're a young male, like in right after high school in like your 20s, I don't know, it feels so alone. We don't have the same like friend structure and social structures a lot of times. A lot of times you feel like the whole world like fucking questions who you are and if you're a bad guy, this, that, or the other. It just, I don't know. There's a real mental health issue in young men. And because they feel like maybe they're always labeled as the bad guys or something, they have an empathy issue, right? Like the whole world's against them. Their decisions usually aren't great ones. They're not fully developed mentally, and they have an empathy issue for sure.
Election?
I did.
You'd be wrong. That was from days ago, and I was going to make a video just on that. But I got curious today to see exactly how he responded, and boy, does he have big feelings. Not only did he go and tweet things like, it's time, repeal the 19th.
A time to repeal the 19th. The lesson is not to appeal to liberal women. The lesson is to repeal women's right to vote. You don't argue with insanity, you mitigate it.
Or the lesson is not to appeal to liberal women. The lesson is to repeal women's rights to vote. You don't argue with insanity, you mitigate it. But here's the thing. In addition to that, he had a 2-hour and 20-minute YouTube episode today that I watched so you don't have to. Yes, I watched it at 2 times speed. And here's just a highlight reel of how he's feeling about women.
All right.
Since the results came out. Now, please stay till the end because he does make one point that I actually agree with, and it's terrifying.
We have a Muslim socialist who has just been elected mayor of the largest city here in the United States of America, New York City. We need to talk about how did that happen. The simple answer is women and foreigners. Foreigners need to be deported. Women need to be quiet. You need to be quiet. And men who love the women in their lives, but should love them enough to say you don't get to drive the car anymore because you keep driving it off of a cliff. How did he get elected? White women. White.
Everybody always says New York City is the biggest city. How much bigger is New York City than like LA?
Liberal young women.
I don't know. I'm asking.
Of his policies, economic policies, and taxpayer-funded childcare. White women, if they don't kill their babies in the womb through abortion, they at least want to be able to give up their babies at the age of 1 year old to go to state-funded, city-funded childcare. Remember?
Yeah. Radicals, radical women. It says it's double double the population and a smaller land area. So I guess it's just way more dense. Huh?
3 years ago, somebody asked me, like, if you could wave, the magic wand and make, America a Christian nation tomorrow, would women in that Christian nation have the right to vote? I didn't mince words. I just immediately said no. And he said, why? And I said, because if we could have a Christian nation tomorrow, but women were able to vote, then within 50 years, we would no longer have a Christian nation. It's not because women aren't Christian. It's not because women don't love the Lord. It's because they're not fit for politics. Politics is war without the bullets. Women were not designed by God for war. They're designed to squeeze the cheeks of little toddlers. That's what women are designed for. And when they're in their proper role, it's a good.
Now that does make sense, right, chat? We can get an amen there, huh?
Good and wonderful, beautiful thing. But women they're not political. My point is that when I said that 3 years ago and it went viral, I mean, I got death threats.
This guy's a pastor. He proudly claims that he's a Christian nationalist.
I still get death threats, for various things, but people hated it. I don't know if you've noticed. I've been doing some repeal the 19th posting myself, and it has changed in the last 3 years. There's still people who are upset and who don't like it, but there is more support than I ever thought we would see in my lifetime, much less just 3 years later.
He literally just...
Wait, is this one of his famous quotes here? Let's see.
Webben, a Christian nationalist. In a recent episode of his podcast, Right Response Ministries, Pastor Joel Webben, a Christian nationalist based in Georgetown, Texas, claimed the United States is solely for Christians, suggesting non-Christians should not hold public office. Webben, who leads Covenant Bible Church, opined that the Founding Fathers envisioned America as an Anglo-Protestant project. He asserted, quote, "This nation is for us and our posterity. It's not for Hindus, it's not for Muslims, and it's not for Jews. It belongs to Christians." His controversial remarks.
That's a direct quote. It's for us and our posterity. When he says us, he means white Christians. It's not for Hindus, it's not for Muslims, and it's not for Jews. It belongs to Christians.
That women aren't fit for politics. You shouldn't be allowed to drive, ladies. And this isn't some medieval thinking from centuries ago. No, this is now. This man has a platform, followers, and he believes half the population should lose their right to vote. Because our only value, ladies, is to be able to pinch the cheeks of toddlers.
Oh, by the way, he also thinks that if someone makes a sexual assault claim and the person they make the claim against is innocent, we don't know if the claim is false or not, but the person just becomes innocent. He would label that as a false sexual assault claim and that should be punishable by death penalty.
He's right about one thing. This mindset has become far more widely accepted. There are more people saying this shit out loud now than there was even 3 years ago. Let us not forget that Pete Hegseth's spiritual advisor is Doug Wilson, who literally said this, on the national news. But here's the thing. Yesterday's election results are exactly why they're terrified. Yesterday, women showed up. They voted. They organized. They made their voices heard. And we won races across the country. They can fantasize and post all they want about repealing the 19th Amendment, but the numbers don't lie. We outnumber them, and when we show up, we win. So let this be a reminder. Our rights are not guaranteed. Their only protection is our participation.
Thank God women are voting.
At home, powerless.
Pinching the cheek of toddlers, like I said.
The answer keeps showing up.
I'm not saying you're not ever allowed to talk. I just wish sometimes that, at Tsuko, her Bluetooth wireless levitating keyboard straight from a Chinese sweatshop would disappear for a couple hours.
Because they're not going to take our rights. Because we're never going to let them.
Women.
Damn it. Here's a clip for you.
If that were to occur and the just penalties were to be enforced, you, the false accuser, is now put to death, and that's a public death. It's a public sentence.
The false accuser put to public death sentence.
Publicly carried out. Then the citizens of these United States of America, you know what they would do? #MeToo would end real fast.
So if we put what we labeled as false accusers to public execution, why would anybody ever say that they've been sexually assaulted? Because if the guy comes up with a few buddies that make him an alibi, then you're facing the death penalty, even if it did happen.
I have 4 people in my life that I dictate the hours in their day. I dictate what time they go to the bathroom, when we eat, what we wear.
There's all these women, who are on public platforms and they're speaking, and they're doing this and they're doing that. And it's just the fact that we don't acknowledge that women have faults, and the fact that we never speak about their sin, and that we never hold them accountable. No, they shouldn't be speaking, period. I'm going to be that guy. Yeah. I'm going to be that guy. They should not be. The public sphere is not the realm.
You mean I don't want to see women in the public sphere? You mean they shouldn't hold political office? Correct. You mean you don't want to see them podcasting? Correct. Well, but what about in the marketplace?
He doesn't want to see them in public. Not in politics, not in podcasting, not in the marketplace. Women shouldn't be allowed to do business.
With 9 to 5 careers. No, not that either. Like I don't want to see women holding positions in the public square. The record, I think the 19th Amendment should be repealed. I think that because, well, first and foremost, because I'm a Christian, and that is the Christian position. Oh my gosh, you're saying that? Yes, that is the Christian position, is that households should not be divided against one another. So by repealing the 19th Amendment, just for the record, it's not just trying to take away a female vote, but it's trying.
The Christian position is repealing the 19th Amendment. Yes, he's married.
To say, no, there's a family vote. There's a household, and it's like, well, where do women get their voice? Where women get their voice is.
I would show you his wife, but she's never appeared in public.
From their father, from their husband. If they're not married, it's from their father. If they're not married and their father.
He's also raising 2 daughters.
Father's dead. It's from their brother. It's from their uncle. It's the men in their lives.
I have 4 people in my life that I dictate the hours in their.
I told you there's no such thing. There's no such thing as a Christian nation. There shouldn't be. Christians shouldn't want that, because then they strive for power and to make their perfect heaven on earth, and it ends up almost always turning into some authoritarian, you have to follow my beliefs or we're kicking you the fuck out. There should only be nations with Christians in them, and maybe even gigantic populations of Christians. That's fine, but there should not be Christian nation. There shouldn't be any religious nations. It was Augustine that wrote the city of God versus the city of man. And the city of God is the city that is not worried about political power or money. Instead, they're taking care of their neighbors. They're providing for the poor. They're doing the things Christ said. And the city of man is trying to get other Christians elected so they can control everybody and kick out all the other religions. The city of man is founded on self-love, greed, and a desire for earthly domination, leading to conflict and temporary success that ends with the world. In contrast, the city of God is founded on the love of God, humility, selfless love for others, seeking eternal rather than earthly peace and glory. Yeah.
Day. I dictate.
When we moved to Texas, I needed to get a new cardiologist. And so my wife, she does a lot of this for me, because before we had kids, she was an RN, and she knows a lot more than I do. I let her read those books. She read some medical books. Yeah. And so she's doing the research and looking at these things, and she shows me 2 doctors, both with this within the same practice, same company, hospital, and saying, do you like one over the other? And one was a young white dude, and one was a young black dude. And I said, I prefer the young white dude. And this is why. The reason why is not because I'm white, but because we currently live in a historical moment in the West, and particularly in these United States, where I know that both of these guys can be perfectly qualified. But I also know that if there's a chance
St. Augustine, yes,
not qualified and was given a free pass, it'd be the black guy. I know that young white guy, there's no way he got a free pass.
That sounds like Charlie Kirk, huh?
Was Christian pastor Joel Webbon. He is the president and founder of Right Response Ministries. Once again, another pastor who just can't help himself. If you don't know who he is, I don't blame you. I wouldn't have known who he is either if not for Twitter. I scrolled through his account it's not great. There was a tweet reporting that RFK Jr.'s wife was not happy with his decision to drop out of the race and endorse Trump, to which Joel Webbon said, quote, "Good man. A man should listen to his wife, prayerfully consider her thoughts, then make the right decision, even if she disagrees. Bad woman. A woman should respectfully disagree with her husband, allow him to make the final decision, then stand behind him, refusing to allow her disagreement to be made public." Keep in mind, this is the same guy who, during that same interview, said the 19th Amendment should be repealed. That is the Christian position. For those of you who don't know, the 19th Amendment gave women the right to vote.
If you
guy's a real shitbag
parent who loves the Lord and loves your children, that you need to have the talk. The talk that we're referencing is the talk that takes your children according to their maturity at the proper time, the appropriate time, and says there are certain parts of town that you cannot go, and there are certain people that you cannot be around.
Yep.
Right? If there's someone who is black in our church, and they've been in our church, and we know them, and they love the Lord Jesus Christ, great. We're not talking about that person, but we're talking about when you go into a crowd of people. If you go into a crowd of strangers, and they're white strangers, there's some danger. If they're black strangers, there is 30 times more danger. Them's the facts. And it is actually a failure of your parental duty. White parents, please hear me. If you teach your children growing up, if you lie to them and say all people and all races of people in our country are the same, they are not. You are actually depriving your child of factual, truthful information that could save their life. If you're a Christian white parent who loves the Lord and loves your children, that you need to have the talk. The talk that we're referencing is the talk that takes your...
Insane, dude.
There's a guy named Joel Webbon, and he is a MAGA pastor. And in the MAGA tent, alarmingly, the loudest voices lately have been voices like this.
I think we have seen the curse unfold of feminism, and it's not enough to...
Could you imagine being his daughter? What do you dream of being? Just a baby factory for a godly husband?
Say, well, okay, well, let's just keep men out of women's sports and we'll be okay. Or even to just say, okay, well, all right, we went too far. No more women in positions of combat.
Hashtag same team.
Also, no more women in Congress, right? No more female state reps. No more women in any function of societal leadership.
This is the master
Hashtag
plan.
peanut butter.
And we're not even remotely being hyperbolic here, because Project 2025 echoes these same sentiments. When you are a part of this movement and you forget that you were able to go to college because of the hard work of the suffragettes and other women, when you forget history and you dismiss history and you don't acknowledge facts, women in the MAGA movement right now are just props. Caroline Leavitt is a prop. At some point, those knives are going to be turned against you.
Just like I always like to point out, what's his name from that? Goddamn, what's that podcast? Where he was in Fresh and Fit, where the guy from Fresh and Fit is in that white supremacist group, literally on an X live video chat. And they're telling him like, hey, man, we appreciate your contributions and helping us do this and do that. But, once we get straightened out and get rid of they're talking about the Jews, but they don't say the Jews. All the illegals, like, you're next. You need to go home to your country. And he's like, I'm an American, dude. And he's like, no. We appreciate you helping us get rid of the immigrants, but you're next. They're going to appreciate all the women who stood up for them, who helped them get elected, who helped them seize this power, who got the plastic surgery so they fit in at Mar-a-Lago and then delivered their press conferences. But you're next. Here is some of this is the game that Dr. J and I are going to be playing. She shared a link to this. Let's see who's playing it. We'll skip around. It's like a 3-hour video. But it's called RV There Yet.
I didn't want to say when I was 15.
That's
Can you hear him? Chat?
Let's see if we can find some gameplay in it.
An Igor.
Glass gonna fall off your shelf.
That's Dr. J's character right there, I can tell.
Unexplainably, but it don't. I'm gonna come in your house, I'm gonna knock a glass off the shelf while you're sleeping, so just so you can think there's a ghost.
So you have to maintain the RV.
Do you really?
Drive the RV.
I hear you double.
There's like a winch. There's like the way to repair it. There's all kinds of shit. And Dr. J and I are going to be playing it to go get Atsuko in China. She's being held against her will.
By the way, it was bugged. It's moving now. Let's grab that stuff because we had to restart. Yeah, let's grab all that stuff we had. Yeah, we're good.
Oh yeah, we have to restart. Okay.
Oh yeah, let me guess. Yeah, it was a ghost, huh, Chad? Yeah, it was a ghost. Jinxie, what have you done?
Oh, there's a bear.
Jinxie, give me up! Oh my god!
I'm putting reverse!
Oh my god, you ran me over! You ran me over!
Case, drive away. Leave sketch for dad.
No!
Leave sketch for daddy.
Go!
Move the...
Oh my god! Give me inside!
Somebody take the bear away from the RV!
Case, get out!
Case, let me in the car! Let me in the car! Oh my god! Shut the door!
I think it'll be fun to try to play it and stream it. I'm not easy to travel with. But you can't get Dr. J down. You know? You can't. She's got that can-do attitude. What about this fucking lunatic, bro? Check this out.
Would it surprise you that I got the VIN numbers of every one of my Democrat colleagues' vehicles and found that none of them bought any of the additional safety technologies on their cars?
What? No, we're coming to China to pick you up. Yes, that would surprise me, bro. What the fuck is wrong with you? You followed people, you stalked people back to their vehicles, then got their VIN numbers. What?
Would it surprise you that I got the VIN numbers of every one of my Democrat colleagues' vehicles and found that none of them bought any of the additional safety technologies on their cars?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that would be pretty fucking surprising. That's so weird, dude. That is so creepy. Would it surprise you? Yeah, a little bit, buddy. I'm a little bit surprised by that. Also, I just saw that you're a representative from Ohio. Is that not the most Ohio thing to do? Follow somebody to their car? Let me make sure my catalytic converter is still attached to my car. Oh no, I hope Bernie Moreno didn't steal all the copper from my house. But in your former life, you were a meth addict. You found out what your colleagues are driving and then pulled out pen and paper and wrote down VIN numbers. Those are not easy numbers. And you wrote down
17 digits, alpha and numeric.
all of their VIN numbers? What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? I don't know if you've got kids or a wife. You're probably secretly gay. But if I were to be like, hey, I'm going to follow your partner to their car and then track down their VIN numbers, I would shoot that person. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
Would it surprise you that I
That's
got the
pretty
VIN numbers
insane.
of every one of my Democrat colleagues' vehicles?
That's pretty fucking insane.
Look, he's probably going to win. I mean, it's a Democrat town, and they're going to elect a socialist to run the financial capital of the world. I mean, you know, you gave him $300 grand. That's interesting. That's probably the only 300 non-Islamo Marxist grand that he got. I saw Linda Sarsour today bragging about all the money that's coming from all over the world. And so
for their elections in New York.
You know, look.
And honestly, I think part of the reason he's so powerful is because people are tired of being lectured by men with Rolexes on CNN about affordability in this country. That's the real reason he is resonating right now.
Look, he's probably going to win. I mean, it's a Democrat town, and they're going to elect a socialist to run the financial capital of the world. I mean, you know, you gave him 300 grand. That's interesting. That's probably the only 300 non-Islamo Marxist grand that he got. I saw Linda Sarsour today bragging about all the money that's coming from all over the world. And so
for their elections in New York.
You know, look.
And honestly, I think part of the reason he's so powerful is because people are tired of being lectured by men with Rolexes on CNN about affordability in this country. That's the real reason he is resonating right now.
Look, he's probably going to win. I mean, it's a Democrat town, and they're going to elect a socialist to run the.
I saw a sting bus down in Mississippi that had a bunch of officers. Basically, the FBI pretended to be drug cartel members and moving drugs and approached cops to bribe them all the way from, I think it was like $1,000 all the way up to tens of thousands of dollars, depending on how much it took, and bribe them. There's a big thing about it. I saw that one. Oh, I'm missing one of my links. Let me see if I can find it.
On October 10th opening.
Listen how wild this story is.
$25 billion.
Tell me this isn't how. Yeah, you have to go to a Venn decoder and type it in. How is this not corruption? Listen to this story and pay close attention.
On October 10th, OpenAI signed a letter of intent for a $25 billion deal with an Argentinian company called Sur Energy. That company basically doesn't exist. And the head of that company died a month earlier. My name is Christopher Russell. I have a law degree from Wake Forest University, and I held a top secret clearance with the Department of Defense and State. In this picture are several members of OpenAI, along with Argentinian President Javier Milei and the head of Nucleoelectrica Argentina, Demian Raidel. Demian Raidel was introduced to Matthias Trevizzano, who was the head of Sur Energy, the guy who died, by Emiliano Kargman. Kargman is the CEO of Satellogic, and the biggest investor in Satellogic is Howard Lutnick's Cantor Fitzgerald. Also invested is Steve Mnuchin, former Treasury Secretary, and Peter Thiel through Palantir. Nobody in that picture is a part of Sur Energy. It has no CEO.
The guy who owns this company that no longer exists is dead. And somehow they announced that OpenAI was partnering with this company, with the president of Argentina, to invest all this money for a company that doesn't exist, that the CEO died 2 weeks ago.
Former Treasury Secretary, and Peter Thiel through Palantir. Nobody in that picture is a part of Sur Energy. It has no CEO. It has no operations. They signed a $25 billion deal to do
with a company that is just a name. It has no CEO. No one works for it. No one does anything there. It's just a registered name that the person who registered it is fucking dead. And they signed a $25 billion deal.
What exactly? My theory is that Demian Raidel is interested in using OpenAI's money as part of the purchase of a 44% stake in privatized Nucleoelectrica Argentina. He has said that he wants a region.
Imagine if there was just an announcement that someone was going to invest $25 billion into a company that just started a year ago that has 0 employees, and the CEO who started the company, the only employee of it, would just happen to die in like a fucking hiking accident randomly. There's what are you investing in, bro? Other than hiding shit.
In Patagonia, where this OpenAI deal is supposed to build a data center that would be a nuclear city where there's just surplus power and any tech entrepreneur can come and, in his words, just plug in. Why did Trevizzano die? He fell 3,000 feet to his death while climbing California's Mount Shasta. Off Mount Shasta, there were 2 strangers there with him.
Unnamed. 2 people with him that were completely unnamed, that both survived, and he just fell 3,000 feet to his death 2 weeks before a $25 billion investment into his company.
Reported him falling off the mountain. Who were they? I don't know. They were reported without names. Why did he die 4 days? September 12th.
Oh, I'm sorry. 4 days before the 25. I'm sorry. I said 2 weeks. As if that was crazy. It was actually less than a business week.
4 days before the announcement that Nucleoelectrica Argentina would be privatized. 44% of it would be privatized. Why did he die 1 month before his non-company, Sur Energy, under Sur Ventures, which is his company?
Sur Ventures is the real company, right? Like, he just opened this Sur Energy before it was even announced that they were going to privatize half of their nuclear power plant infrastructure. Less than a business week before all this fucking comes out, and a $25 billion investment to a company that is, as far as anyone's concerned, all this company is a name. It has no assets. It has no employees. It has no infrastructure. It has nothing. It is just a name, and OpenAI and Palantir and all these fucking tech bros are like, yeah, I'll give $25 billion to that. Why not? You think we can meet with the president of Argentina? Sure.
Would have this $25 billion deal with OpenAI. Why is Emiliano Cargaman speaking for Sur Energy when he's a partner with Sur Ventures, but he has no public association with Sur Energy? This is all quite odd, isn't it? On October 10th, OpenAI signed a letter of intent.
Watch it again. It's blowing my fucking mind. These companies have investors, and they are legally required to make decisions that protect the investor's investment and try to make its fiduciary responsibility. They have to try to make money. In what world is throwing $25 billion at a company that doesn't exist in name only, with a CEO who just got pushed off a fucking mountain to his death, for an unnamed deal that has that there's no deal there? They're just like, hey, we're going to partner with Sur Energy for $25 billion. What does Sur Energy do? Nothing. What contracts may they win? None. Who are they tied to? Nobody. Who works there? Not a soul. Watch it again. It's fucking with me.
On October 10th, OpenAI signed a letter of intent for a $25 billion deal with an Argentinian company called Sur Energy. That company basically doesn't exist. And the head of that company died a month earlier. My name is Christopher Russell. I have a law degree from Wake Forest University, and I held a top secret clearance with the Department of Defense and State. In this picture are several members of OpenAI, along with Argentinian President Javier Milei and the head of Nucleoelectrica Argentina, Demian Raidel. Demian Raidel was introduced to Matthias Trevizzano, who was the head of Sur Energy, the guy who died, by Emiliano Cargaman. Cargaman is the CEO of Satellogic, and the biggest investor in Satellogic is Howard Lutnick's Cantor Fitzgerald.
Of course it is. It's his son's company that's also buying up all the tariff refunds.
Also invested is Steve Mnuchin, former Treasury Secretary, and Peter Thiel through Palantir. Nobody in that picture is a part of Sur Energy. It has no CEO.
Nobody in this picture for this announcement of a $25 billion investment in Sur Energy is a part of Sur Energy. Because the only person that's a part of Sur Energy, S-U-R is how it's spelled, Sur Energy, was pushed off a mountain in California 4 days before this. Kind of wild, no?
It has no operations. They signed a $25 billion deal. To do what exactly? My theory is that Demian Raidel is interested in using OpenAI's money as part of the purchase of a 44% stake in privatized Nucleoelectrica Argentina. He has said that he wants a region in Patagonia where this OpenAI deal is supposed to build a data center that would be a nuclear city where there's just surplus.
This all about the nuclear city and stuff is just him guessing, because there is nothing there. There's no business, there's no infrastructure, there's no contracts, there's no ties to any other country. There's nothing there.
Power, and any tech entrepreneur can come and, in his words, just plug in. Why did Trevizzano die? He fell off Mount Shasta. There were two strangers there with him, reported him falling off the mountain. Who were they? I don't know. They were reported without names. Why did he die 4 days, September 12th, 4 days before the announcement that Nuclear Electrica Argentina would be privatized? 44% of it would be privatized. Why did he die 1 month before his non-company, Sur Energy, under Sur Ventures, which is his company, would have this $25 billion deal with OpenAI? Why is Emiliano Kargaman speaking for Sur Energy?
No one had ever heard of the company Sur Energy before. Sam Altman came out and said that he was investing $25 billion with them because they were one of the most important energy companies in Argentina. But until then, no one had even heard of the company. How do you become the most important energy company in Argentina? And nobody works there, and no one's ever heard of it. Because they have enough money to throw around that they could say Will Bird Industries is the most important energy company in Canada.
When he's a partner with Sur Ventures, but he has no public association with Sur Energy. This is all quite odd, isn't it? On October 10th, OpenAI...
And then the government official who was part of the announcement tried to distance himself from the firm, saying that Sur Energy is just a broker that connects other parties. There are two very important energy companies behind it, but wouldn't say what those energy companies were. There are no deadlines, no location, no project, or no clear financing, said an energy sector consultant in a conversation with LPO. Elon Musk was more precise in a post on X. OpenAI is built on a lie. The CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman. The appearance of Sur Energy in the announcement heightened suspicions. It's a company with no public history, no real corporate presence, no track record in artificial intelligence, and a website that looks like it was built by Adobe AI. The Sur Energy website has only a contact form, generic topography, and an embedded Google map. The government argues that the state is not part of the deal between Sur Energy and OpenAI, but that it is a private deal between Sam Altman's company and an intermediary with no industrial muscle or consolidated energy reputation. It's easy. The government has nothing to do with it. OpenAI announced they can make deals with whoever they want. A more sharp version circulates in the sector. Nobody knows it. They built it from scratch, and someone is involved. According to that version, it would be imposed. It would be the imposed intermediary behind it. Central Puerto of Nikki Caputo and another important company are mentioned. Like it's just there's no company. There isn't a company that exists, and OpenAI just invested $25 billion with them. Does that sound like a sound financial decision? If you're not doing something completely shady behind the scenes with this completely shady fucking government, if it's all on the up and up, you think that's a sound financial decision to give $25 billion right after you push the CEO off a cliff? You give $25 billion to the company that doesn't have a CEO and has no employees, no plan, no ties to any other companies, no contracts, no start dates, no projects, no nothing. A nuclear city would just be like a nuclear power plant that only puts power in a certain area, and they try to get like data centers and shit to come there and be like, hey, we got unlimited energy, come here and set up. And they would bring like campuses with them. So housing and restaurant, like Google has like a campus. The companies would bring campuses with them. The whole thing is fucking insane. I don't know what to say. By the way, tomorrow's fight night. Make sure you tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be watching Sam Alvey versus some random guy on TikTok named John. Sam Alvey, combat karate fucking champion in 2 different divisions, former UFC fighter, versus a random guy on TikTok who called him out. It should be fun.
I'm
I'm the new mayor of New York City. So much for never forget. What? You were the mastermind behind 9/11. I was 9. That makes it worse. I'm not a terrorist. I'm a democratic socialist. Goodbye, bacon, egg, and cheese. I'm not taking your breakfast away. Hello, hummus and falafel on pita. Oh, your racism is showing. Somebody close the gates of hell. You know about 50% of New York City families have at least one immigrant in the home? And think about it. You're gonna send more of your Gestapo into New York? ICE will have a field day. And this is why Democrats just won so big. New York City's going down the toilet. Oh, you think so? Of course, it's gonna be run by a communist. Still better than the ist you are. And what's that? Ray? And the Dems only won because I wasn't on the ballot. I think these results are a real rebuke of everything you are. They're a rebuke of the Republican Party. Didn't you say you are the Republican Party? I did. Yeah, I mean, I can see how connecting those dots is a bridge too far. I'm firing all FBI agents linked to the probe of Donald Trump. Why? Oh, never mind. No, I'm not. Okay. Actually, yes, I am. Your brain works like your eyes. This election was no big deal. Are you crying? It was just blue places voted blue. You are crying. And I just lost the mayor of Cincinnati vote to a guy named Aftab Karmasingh Purabal. Oh, man. Who are you? I'm J.D. Vance's half-brother. J.D. Vance has a shittier half-brother that sucks at politics? Just call me Corey.
J.D. Vance come out and fucking campaigned for him. He still lost.
Corey, do you fuck couches too? I'm the new mayor of New York.
So Kash Patel fires, then unfires, then refires agents that were linked to the Jack Smith probe. The firings focus on personnel connected to former special counsel Jack Smith's probe of Trump and an earlier FBI investigation known as Arctic Frost. At least 2 FBI agents involved in the past investigations of President Donald Trump were told Monday that they had been fired, only to learn later in the same day that those terminations had been reversed and put on holds, according to 6 people familiar with the decision. Then, on Tuesday morning, when they showed up to work, the 2 agents learned that they had indeed been fired, along with 2 other employees, according to 3 of the people familiar with the decisions. The chaotic process highlights the turmoil and uncertainty across the federal law enforcement amid overalls of the Justice Department and FBI that have targeted those who help secure indictments against Trump or are viewed by the president as aligned with his political enemies. The targeted FBI agents were tied to either special counsel Jack Smith's probe or the initial investigation into Trump that began in 2022 and that the FBI dubbed Arctic Frost. An FBI spokesperson declined to comment, and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia did not respond to requests for comment. The FBI Agents Association, which represents FBI employees, criticized the actions against the 4 FBI employees, casting them as part of a campaign of erratic and arbitrary retribution led by FBI Director Kash Patel. The actions yesterday in which FBI special agents were terminated and then reinstated shortly after, and then only to be fired again today, highlight the chaos that occurs when longstanding policies and processes are ignored. The association said in a statement, an agent simply being assigned to an investigation and conducting it appropriately within the law should never be grounds for termination. By the way, they asked Kash Patel again and 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 again if he was going to fire people just because they worked on the Trump probe, and he said no, that's not why he would be firing people. But it turns out everybody working on the Trump probe were fired. The turmoil on Monday and Tuesday followed separate terminations or departures at the FBI and Justice Department last week. 2 prosecutors who mentioned the events of January 6th in a sentencing memo were placed on administrative leave. We went over that story. Remember, they called it the January 6th riot when they were charging this guy with bringing guns to Obama's house to try to kill him. They mentioned January 6th riot, and they were both immediately fired. On Thursday, Patel also dismissed Stephen Palmer, a 27-year veteran of the FBI, who in part oversaw the agency's use of government planes. We covered this, too. Kash Patel flew to his girlfriend's concert at a wrestling match, and then Kash Patel got busted for it because he gave everybody, all the other FBI directors, so much hell for using their planes for personal events. Then he come home and fired the guy that was in charge of the planes and led its critical incident response group, according to one of the 6 people familiar with the decisions. Bloomberg first reported Palmer's firing. NBC News has not confirmed the reason for Palmer's firing. Palmer did not respond to requests for comment. Recently, FBI has fired employees linked to investigations investigators' decisions to obtain phone call records of 9 U.S. Republican senators as they examined Trump's attempt to overturn his 2020 election loss. Now, what is this? Trump is running around saying they tapped the phones of members of Congress. This is not true in any way, shape, or form. A year after January 6th happened, when Jack Smith was doing his investigation on Trump trying to illegally overturn the election, they requested the records of these top 9 Republicans just to see if Trump and them had contact. They didn't tap their phones. Tapping their phones would be intercepting messages or calls as they happen, right? A wiretap. They went and looked if phone calls were made in the phone records between these top Republicans on January 6th that were supposed to object and hold out and help Mike Pence overturn the election for Donald Trump and Trump. That's it. There were no phone taps. There were no illegal phone traps that Trump's bitching about. Aaron Tapp, the special agent in charge of the San Antonio field office, was pushed out after his name appeared in internal documents recently released by Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley from Iowa in connection with the FBI's analysis of the phone data, according to one of the 6 people familiar with the decisions. Tapp declined to comment. The overhaul began within days of Trump taking office in January when the Justice Department fired several career lawyers involved in Jack Smith's probe. Brian Driscoll, a former FBI official who drew national attention after refusing a Justice Department directive to hand over a list of agents who had worked on cases tied to the January 6th Capitol riot, was also fired. Of course he was. And ABC News reported last month that the FBI punished 3 agents who worked in connection with Smith's probe or on Arctic Frost investigation, including dismissing at least 2 of them. So they didn't do it all at once, and they didn't do it the day Kash Patel took over because that would be stupid. What they've done is they used all year to basically find anybody that helped with Jack Smith's investigation or probe, and they fired every fucking one of them. Because they're disgusting, horrible people. Also, check this out. Tell me this doesn't scream that the president is for sale. I had to scroll back some because I noticed this a couple of days ago. All right, let's check out Trump's Truth Social, okay? His Twitter page. My fellow Americans, our movement is far from over. In fact, our fight has only just begun. I'm thrilled to announce the incredible trade and economic deal between the United States and Uzbekistan. I'm sure that's worth billions and billions. I just held a great call between Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel, President Kassem Jomart Tokayev of Kazakhstan. Joe Lombardo is the strong and very popular governor of Nevada, a very special place to me in that we had a big presidential election win just 1 year ago. The Democrats will terminate the filibuster in the first hour if and when they assume control or power. Republicans have what the Democrats want. We should do it now and have the greatest 3 years in history. By the way, he thinks that terminating the filibuster on this one thing gets rid of it forever. That's not how it is. It has to be done on, like, if they want to do it on CRs, then it's done for CRs, but it still stands on everything else. He doesn't understand that because he's dumb. Happy anniversary of winning the election, I guess. He shares whatever the hell this is.
Young man was going to conquer Manhattan. He takes chances that would make a less daring man shudder.
To think about the arc of
some self-pleasure weird thing. Happy anniversary, MAGA. In 9 short months, we have delivered historic results for the American people, and the best is yet to come. Same video again, same video again, same video again. Another campaign video, another anniversary post, same video again. 1 year, same video again, same video again. Walmart just announced the price. All right, here we go. Tell me this doesn't scream that the president's for sale. Former FBI Special Agent Nicole Parker has written a powerful new book, The 2 FBIs, The Bravery and Betrayal I Saw in My Time at the Bureau. Okay? Nicole is a strong voice for eliminating blah, 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 whatever. And book, right? I recently met with the great American patriot Gianno Caldwell. He has written a very powerful book, The Day My Brother Was Murdered, My Journey Through America's Violent Crime Crisis. Gianno unfortunately understands the true horror of the crime epidemic ravaging our once great cities, especially Chicago. 2 books. Congressman Barry Loudermilk, one of the great state of Georgia, has written an inspiring book. Not powerful this time, inspiring. And Then They Prayed. Moments in American history impacted by prayer. Barry understands where our inalienable rights come from and the sacred duty we have to protect these cherished freedoms. 3 books. It was like the end of the month, and they're like, sir, people paid you $1 million a piece to post their books, and you haven't done it yet. Peter Navarro, who's doing an incredible job as a senior counselor for trade and manufacturing, has written a powerful new book. I Went to Prison So You Don't Have to, a love and lawfare story in Trumpland. Like too many great American patriots, Peter experienced this vicious weaponization of the justice system, but never gave up, never backed down, and never wavered for what he knew to be true. The 2020 presidential election was rigged and stolen. 4 books. Christina Bob's new book, Defiant Inside the Mar-a-Lago Raid and the Left's Ongoing Lawfare, is available now. It is my great honor to write the foreword. This is a must-read expose. Christine brings receipts on the deranged Jack Smith investigation of the illegal raid on Mar-a-Lago. 5 books. Like, what the fuck is going on with MAGA Book Club, dude? Back to back to back to back to back. 5 fucking times. It was literally ads for books of people that paid him to post it as the president of the United States. Could you imagine any other politician doing this? I'm serious. I think he signed some type of contract that it had to be posted by November 5th or whatever. And they're like, sir, he hasn't read any of these fucking books. These are like fucking somebody that read the back panel of the book or some shit and put it in a post for him. He didn't even write them himself. But it's like, sir, we promised we'd have that done by the end of October. Now it's November the 5th, and they paid you a lot of money to post it. We'll just post them all at once. That's so fucking weird, dude.
If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria. We're going to do things to Nigeria that Nigeria is not going to be happy about and may very well go.
Are you going to touch them in their no-no square?
That Nigeria is not going to be happy about and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns a-blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible, horrible atrocities. I'm hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attack our...
So he's thinking about attacking Nigeria and Venezuela because Nigeria is mean to Christians.
Cherished Christians. These are cherished.
He's fucking unhinged, dude.
People. These are great people. Leave them alone. Warning. The Nigerian...
Warning. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Government better move fast before it's too late. If they don't...
His mouth sounds so juicy.
Nigerian government better move fast before it's too late. If they don't, there's going to be hell to pay. As I've said for years, Obamacare is a total disaster.
But he doesn't have anything to replace it with.
Waiting to happen. Rates.
I'm all for fixing it. If you got a plan that's so much better and is cheaper and gives more people access and it works just as well, let's have it. But for 10 goddamn years, you guys have been trying to get rid of it with nothing.
Are going through the roof for the really bad health care that you're not getting.
By the way, he knows. So part of the breakfast that he cussed all the Republican leaders out and threw ketchup everywhere, part of that was, it's the frame rate that makes it look AI. But anyways, part of that was he was upset because so there's no way out for them right now, this government shutdown. They're trying to blame Democrats for giving health care to illegals, but the marketplace is open now. The marketplace is open, and people are seeing their rates go from $800 to fucking $1,700 and shit like that. There's even Republican politicians lying, saying that, oh, well, the website isn't updated because the government shut down. It'll go back to normal when the government. But when the government opens up again, if this isn't fixed, the rates are going to be the same. They're all fucking seeing it. There's no way for them out unscathed now, and it hurt them in the fucking the elections.
Even do something, Democrats. Sit down and do something. We want to make it better, or we want to get something that's good. Obamacare is a disaster, too expensive, and the rates are going too high.
He knows how bad it looks for him.
It's no good. Majority Leader John Thune and Speaker of the House Mike Johnson are doing a great job, but the Democrats are crazed lunatics that have lost all sense of wisdom and reality.
That's a good way to calm political tensions.
It's a sick form of the now legendary Trump derangement syndrome, TDS, that only comes from losing too much. They want trillions of dollars to be taken from the healthcare system and given to others who are not deserving. People who have come into our country illegally, many from prisons and mental institutions. This will hurt American citizens, and Republicans will not let that happen. It's now time for the Republicans to play their Trump card.
By the way, he can't show a single shred of evidence for all the years she's been saying it that countries are emptying their prisons and mental institutions into the U.S.
And go for what's called the nuclear option. Get rid of the filibuster and get rid of it now. We can make our country so strong, so great. We can do all the things that we wanted to do. Just a short while ago, the Democrats, while in power, fought for 3 years to do this, but were unable to pull it off because of Senators Joe Manchin of West Virginia.
Yeah, the Democrats didn't do it because they could see the future, saying, I don't know about that.
Kristen Sinema of Arizona. Never have the Democrats fought so hard to do something, because they knew the tremendous strength in terminating the filibuster and everything that would give them. They wanted to do it so badly. We have a chance to do it now and to make our country great again. They want to substantially expand the United States Supreme Court, make Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico states, thereby automatically picking up 4 Senate seats, many House seats, and at least
that isn't things they're trying to do.
8 electoral votes, and many other highly destructive things for them. But for us, we can do it. It was their idea originally, Obama and Harry Reid, in order to screw the Republicans. And
they're immigrants. They're not prison inmates. And from mental institute, they're immigrants.
Now we can turn it around, and
you realize there's other people in the world besides just the U.S. population and foreign prisons, right?
We can screw the Democrats and make our country so strong. Well, now we're in power, and we can do it, and we should do it, and it should be done immediately. End this ridiculous country-destroying shutdown, among many other things. And that's the least of it. If the Democrats ever came back into power, which would be made easier for them if the Republicans are not using the great strength and policies made available to us by ending the filibuster, the Democrats will exercise their rights, and it will be done in the first day they take office, regardless of whether or not we do it. The Democrats want to end the filibuster. It will be done the first day they get into office. Don't you understand that, Republicans? In addition to all the other things that we would get, such as the best judges, the best U.S. attorneys, the best of everything, this would be a concept from years ago of then President Barack Hussein Obama and former Majority Leader Harry Reid in order to take advantage of Republicans. Now I want to do it in order to take advantage of the Democrats because of the fact.
But they didn't do it. You realize the whole thing you're saying is that they didn't do it.
This is clear. Initiate the nuclear option, get rid of the filibuster, and make America great again.
There's a time crunch now. Which how bad they did in the most recent elections. There's a time crunch before midterms.
Republicans, you have to be strong. You can't be weak. We get pushed around too much. These are crooked people. You have to be strong. Get rid of the filibuster.
Sounds like a fucking lunatic, dude.
And let's make our country great. Let's end the shutdown. It'll be ended in minutes. Stop it. Be smart. Be strong. And
this isn't AI. Don't call me Shirley.
Win, win, win. Remember, Republicans, regardless of the Schumer shutdown, the Democrats will
They're still trying to get that Schumer shutdown, and that's not sticking, bud.
Terminate the filibuster the first chance they get. They will pack the Supreme Court of the United States.
These are not things that are being attempted.
Pick up 2 states. That's all.
Even the Democrats could see ahead and say, hey, that's a bad idea. If we end the filibuster here, we're not always going to be in power, and somebody's going to use it against us.
A lot of states, and add at least 8 electoral votes. Their 2 objectors are gone. Remember, Sinema and Manchin, they're gone. Don't be weak. Don't be stupid, Republicans. Fight, fight, fight. Win, win, win. We will immediately end the extortionist shutdown, get all of our agenda passed, and make life so good.
The filibuster's in place to prevent a simple majority from just taking over and doing whatever the fuck they want.
For Americans, that these deranged Democrat politicians will never again have the chance to destroy America. They tried to destroy your country. Republicans, you will rue the day that you didn't terminate the filibuster. Be tough, be smart, and win. This is much bigger than the shutdown. This is the survival of our country. Terminate.
He's just saying retarded shit to get a reaction.
The filibuster, and let's live the great life that
stuff they don't even believe.
This country is capable of living. This week, we're celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the most important election victory in the history of our country. We won all 7 swing states by millions and millions of votes.
Couldn't even get a majority of the voters.
We won the Electoral College 312 to 226. We won the popular vote for the first time of any Republican in decades. And we won 86% of the counties in America, 2,700 to 525. Think of that, 2,700 to 525. All 50 states shifted toward the Republican Party, the first time that's ever happened. Think of that. All of the states, every single state, shifted toward the Republican Party the first time ever. And just think of what our country would be like right now if the election had gone the other way. Another 20 million illegal aliens would have poured across our border over the past year. It would have been a disaster. Your energy prices would be through the roof. Inflation would be at 9, 10, 12, 15, 20%. Who knows? They had no idea what they were doing. Your taxes would be going up massively. Terrorists would be flooding our country.
George W. Bush won the popular vote in 2004.
And millions of children would be getting indoctrinated with transgender insanity.
Transgender for everybody.
I ended 8 wars. Think of that. Ended 8 wars. And a band of thugs and lunatics would be running our country. Thankfully, we won, and we're making America great again, greater than ever before.
He ran against, in 2004, that would have been John Kerry.
Over the past 9 months, we've created 1.9 million jobs for American-born citizens. Gasoline prices are the lowest in decades. And
that's not true. You guys don't remember how cheap gas was in COVID, right? Gas was cheap as fuck during COVID because no one was buying, no one's going anywhere. So when he says in decades, what does he mean?
Energy costs are down, grocery prices are down, mortgage rates are down, saving the typical family thousands of dollars a year. Joe Biden created the worst inflation in history, but since I took office, core inflation is really low.
I wish he would at least try to stay in the realm of reality. I understand all politicians exaggerate or put a certain spin on it to where it looks like they're better than what they are, right? Without giving all the details, but he just outright lies.
Way down. We're working every day to make America affordable again and to make America greater than ever before. Thank you very much.
Yeah, in 2020, the average price of gas for the entire year of 2020 was $2.17 a gallon across the entire U.S. That's including California and everywhere else, right?
Over the past 9 months, we've...
Oh, I didn't mean to play that one again.
It's really hard to believe, but just think of it. 1 year ago, we were still in the middle of a presidential campaign.
Trump is great for Argentina, for racists, for people whose main concern is, I don't want to see a brown person. Yeah.
And can you believe
I agree.
It seems like 10 years have passed since that time, since we've done so much. We have really done a lot. It's frankly a very different world. America is back, and America is respected perhaps like never before. Our economy is roaring, our border is secure, and our country is...
Have you not seen the videos of foreign leaders making fun of you when you're not around. Like, we're respected again.
For greatness, we are doing better than anyone ever thought possible, and no president has ever come even close to doing what we've done in 9 months. Thank you very much.
I don't think you know what common sense is. I think common sense is protecting people to where they can keep their insurance affordable. Yeah. I think you think common sense is, well, they're trying to do trans for everybody. Let's get rid of it. And those are just not they're putting litter boxes in the schools. None of those things are true, but whatever. Whatever you think common sense is, I guess. Fucking lunatic, dude. We've played this before, but Itsuko shared it. We can play it again.
All right, guys, so I wanted to share this with you. This is crazy. I feel like maybe years ago we may have watched this, like, I don't know, 2016-ish, 27. I mean, that's almost a fucking decade ago now. But at some point in the past, I think we watched this. But I was just reminded of its existence because of this post on Twitter. I wanted to share it with you. There was this video that was released in 19...
They don't care, right? They get their news from Facebook memes. And they think, oh, we're back, while they literally are fucking not able to afford anything. Like, their whole life is falling apart. They're the meme of the dog saying, this is fine, drinking a cup of coffee, reading the paper, and the whole goddamn house is on fire, right? Because their paper is this Facebook meme from the Hodge twins. And they're like, hell yeah, Trump said, brown people are out, white people are back. Like, what?
1943, and it's titled "Don't Be a Sucker," and it's kind of eerie and creepy because it kind of predicts the rise of fascism in the U.S. and Donald Trump in the U.S. So this is a wild thing to see. Let's take a look, and then we'll break it down here. This is right on the heels of the end of World War II, right? And so people in the U.S., for sure, it's fuck Hitler. For sure, it's fuck Japan. Fuck the Japanese Empire, and fuck fascism. Fuck fascism, which is what it always should be, but wow, it's making a comeback, and take a look. You'll see what I'm saying.
Yeah, you can't expect people just to lie down and die quietly while you're taking their ability to live away. It's not going to happen.
I happen to know the facts. Now, friends, I'm just an average American, but I'm an American. And some of the things I see in this country of ours make my blood boil.
This is MAGA right here.
I see Negroes holding jobs that belong to me and you.
Now it's Mexicans or illegals or whatever.
Now I ask you, if we allow this thing to go on, what's going to become of us real Americans?
I've heard this kind of talk before, but I never expected to hear it in America.
This fellow seems to know what he's talking about. What are we real Americans going to do about it? You'll find it right here in this little pamphlet. The truth about Negroes and foreigners. The truth about the Catholic Church.
Do you believe in that kind of talk?
By the way, Trump has destroyed his entire narrative about the auto pen. He's fucking destroyed it. Why? Because he said Joe Biden used the auto pen on these pardons and he didn't know anything about the case. Then they ask him, why did you pardon the guy who has billions of dollars worth of business with your sons who admitted to trafficking money for terrorist organizations, Al-Qaeda and Hamas and all these terrorist organizations through his cryptocurrency platform? And Trump answers, I don't know anything about it. I don't know the guy. I don't know what he did. I don't know anything about it. I was just told he was a good guy. So which is it? Is it Biden was giving out pardons with an auto pen and he knew nothing about the case and that's not allowed, or you're giving out pardons because you know nothing about the case and have no idea what's going on and that's not allowed?
Makes pretty good sense to me. And I tell you, friends, we'll never be able to call this country our own until it's a country without. Without what? Yeah, without what? Without Negroes. Without alien foreigners. Without Catholics. Without Freemasons. You know Masons? What's wrong with the Masons? I'm a Mason. Hey, that fellow's talking about me.
And that makes a difference, doesn't it?
These are your enemies. These are the people who are trying to take over our country. Now you know them.
You know, this relates perfectly to MAGA, right? Because when Trump was talking about the left, or when he was talking about protesters, or when he was talking about immigrants, or when he's talking about people eating cats and dogs, they're like, hell yeah, 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 yeah. But when MAGA shifted and started talking about H-1B visas, and Twitter blew up because Vivek and them were saying, oh, Americans are dumb and fat and lazy. We need these hardworking H-1B visas. They're like, they're talking about me. We're not dumb and I could get that job. I know plenty of white people that would take that job. It doesn't matter until they're talking about you, and you're on their list too. I've got a news flash for you. They don't give a fuck about you or America or your red state or your red town or your hardworking family of whatever. They're protecting billionaires and selling it to you as patriotism.
You know what they stand for. And it's up to you and me to fight them. Fight them and destroy them before they destroy us.
Don't Be a Sucker was made by...
This is U.S. War Department during World War II to show how this mentality was spreading and growing and shit like that.
U.S. War Department during World War II.
Before he said Masons, you were ready to agree with him.
Well, yes, but he was talking about... What about those other people?
But in this country, we have no other people. We are American people.
What about you? You aren't American, right?
It's the only time they fought back is when it actually... Wait. I saw one. What was it the other day? It's been a few weeks back, and they're like, wait. My son works as a blah, blah, blah. Something Trump was talking shit about suddenly when he turned on a dime. And they're like, wait, but my son does that, and he's a hard... I think you got this one wrong, Mr. Trump. It always is. Or that MAGA mom who just found out that she's losing all the support for her developmentally delayed child that had extra support in North Carolina or Virginia, one. Here's a poem. I'll read this and we'll wrap up. This one, I found it the other day. Somebody had it on TikTok. It's actually better than the than They Came For Me. I think it is. It's pretty good. It's kind of long though, but here you go. I'll try reading it. In our town, the hangman came, smelling of gold and blood and flame, and he paced our bricks with a different air, and he built his frame on the courthouse square. The scaffold stood by the courthouse side, only as wide as the door was wide, a frame as tall or a little more than the capping sill of the courthouse door. And we wondered whenever we had the time, who the criminal, what the crime. The hangman judged with the yellow twist of knotted hemp in a busy fist. And innocent though we were with dread, we passed those eyes of buckshot lead, till one cried, hangman, who is he for whom you raise the gallows tree? Then a twinkle grew in the buckshot eye, and he gave us a riddle instead of a reply. He who serves me best, said he, shall earn the rope on the gallows tree. And he stepped down and laid his hand on a man who came from another land. And we breathed again for another's grief, and the hangman's hand was our relief. And the gallows frame on the courthouse lawn by tomorrow's sun would be struck and gone. So we gave him way and no one spoke out of respect for the hangman's cloak. The next day's sun looked mildly down on roof and street in our quiet town, and stark and black in the morning air, the gallows tree on the courthouse square. And the hangman stood at his usual stand, with yellow hemp in his busy hand, with his buckshot eye and his jaw like a pike, and his air so knowing and businesslike. And we cried, hangman, have you not done yesterday with the alien one? Then we fell silent and stood amazed. Oh, not for him was the gallows raised. He laughed a laugh, and as he looked at us, did you think I gone to all this fuss? To hang one man, that's a thing I do. To stretch the rope when the rope is new. Then one cried murderer, one cried shame, and in our midst the hangman came. To that man's place do you hold, said he, with him that's meant for the gallows tree? And he laid his hand on that one's arm, and we shrank back in quiet alarm. And we gave him way, and no one spoke, out of fear of his hangman's cloak. That night we saw with dread surprise, the hangman's scaffold had grown in size. Fed by the blood beneath the chute, the gallows tree had taken root. Now as wide or a little more than the steps that led to the courthouse door. As tall as the writing, or nearly as tall, halfway up the courthouse wall. The third he took, and we had all heard tell, was a usurer and an infidel. And what said the hangman have you to do with the gallows bound and he a Jew? And we cried out, is this the one who has served you well and faithfully? The hangman smiled its clever scheme to try the strength of the gallows beam. The fourth man's dark accusing song had scratched out comfort hard and long. And what concern he gave us back have you for the doomed and the black. The fifth, the sixth, and we cried again, hangman, hangman, is this the man? It's trick, he said, that we hangmen know, for easing the trap when the trap springs are slow. And so we ceased and asked no more, as the hangman tallied his bloody score. And sun by sun, and night by night, the gallows grew to a monstrous height. The wings of the scaffold opened wide till they covered the square from side to side, and the monster crossbeam looking down cast its shadow across our town. Then through the town the hangman came and called in the empty streets my name. And I looked at the gallows soaring tall and thought, there is no one left at all for hanging, and so he calls to me to help him pull down the gallows tree. And I went out with right good hope to the hangman's tree and the hangman's rope. He smiled at me as I came down to the courthouse square through the silent town. And supple and stretched in his busy hand was the yellow twist of the hempen strand. And he whistled his tune as he tried the trap, and it sprang down with a ready snap. And then with a smile of awful command, he laid his hand upon my hand. You tricked me, hangman, I shouted then, that your scaffold was built for other men. And I no henchman of yours, I cried. You lied to me, hangman, foully lied. Then a twinkle grew in his buckshot eye. Lied to you, tricked you, he said, not I. For I answered straight and told you true. The scaffold was raised for none but you. For who has served me faithfully? Then you with your coward's hope, said he. And where are the others that might have stood side by side in the common good? Dead, I whispered, and amiably. Murdered, the hangman corrected me. First the alien, then the Jew. I do no more than you let me do. Beneath the beam, I blocked the sky. Beneath the beam that blocked the sky. None had stood so as lone as I. And the hangman strapped me, and no voice there cried, stay for me in the empty square. You're next. You're next, baby. Soon as we're done with them, we'll do it for you. You're not going to fucking become a billionaire. That's who they're taking care of. That's who they're supporting. That's who they're providing for. It's not you. You're not going to become a billionaire. You're not going to fucking hit the lottery. You're not going to come up with some business. You're not becoming a billionaire. They're not here for you. Have a good night, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Support the show at buymeacoffee.com/coldbeer. If you want to keep the show on the air, buymeacoffee.com/coldbeer. Have a good night. I'll be back for Fight Night tomorrow at 8 p.m. Love you. See you. Bye.
But I can tell you this about if this
Trump's on the Epstein list. He was best friends with Epstein. They had to go through. The FBI spent 24-hour shifts redacting his name from the FBI from the Epstein list. So
tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world.
if Trump's not a pedo, he sure hung out with him a lot,
Okay, Scott. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit.
The GOP stands for the Guardians of the Pedophiles, right?
You better buckle up.
That's The Hangman by Maurice Ogden. It's actually a really good poem. I don't do it justice trying to read it, but it's really good. The Hangman by Maurice Ogden.
You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping Trump's cock and begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like four in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong.
Not only is he not releasing the Epstein files, he called it a hoax while the victims were meeting across the town in D.C. and then said anybody that still wants it is just dumb. They're weak and pathetic and dumb.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
It's all good. I like arguing with them sometimes. Sometimes I ignore them. Sometimes I argue with them for a while. And plus, they probably found my show when I was still so goddamn retarded and supporting Trump. I don't know.
I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom.
Bird will straighten them out.
Found some of his meat rockets. I strapped them to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa. Stop. What? What? I'll get my files. What are you doing? Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. My mom's an alcoholic. Give me oh my God. Damn it. Here we go, I think
The power of Christ compels you to give little Bert a little kiss.
Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Round 3. Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it down his throat. Now things are getting rocking. He was doing so well. It's all over. Hands on his shoulders. They ringing his bell.
Trump is not long for this world. That's true.
No damn research. They rework and copy on Cox that came first. 9th inning, second string, and they acting like they know hitters. Assholes throwing bullshit, sending bronze to the shitter. All this nonsense on my conscience. It's hard to sleep at night. Who the fuck is in my window with this time of the night? These parasites, these leeches, with all their secret meetings, teaching all you fucking cretins about baby-eating heathens. Believing in reason with no meaning is bullshit. Will Bird motherfuckers out here busting the grifts. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets.
Good night, guys. Come back tomorrow for Fight Night.
Cause you ain't seen none yet.